No.
Because you didn't check and see how much other coins have costed people in like OpenSea or like
Oh, on OpenSea, of course, there will be more than that.
Uniswap.
I'll check Uniswap.
Well, you gotta when you look at the you have to look at the mints, and then you have to look at the other. There's like in two sections where it's labeled. I can't. Fuck. I gotta remember all this shit. It's been like fucking
I'm
months.
gonna tell you one day they're gonna have a problem with their fucking proxy contracts. That to me is how they fall. If they do. If it does. To me it's the proxies. To me it's the contracts, how all the contracts are just built on built and built and built and built and built and built and built. And people just build. But at one point they're gonna stop and allow people to build with it. And like I think just people need to get their head out of their ass and just realize that it's all about liquidity with them. The only reason why it goes down forever is because it just keeps minting itself.
And I was just one of the things that kind of bothered me is I've been watching the liquidity since day one over there, and there was like $1.2 million of liquidity like right off the
Yeah, but
jump,
how much
and like
was
then it
there
was just
actually? Because how much was there
it was fuck
actually?
tons. A lot. There was a lot. Like that's too much for a project that's
How much
brand
ETH?
new. That doesn't make
But
sense.
has there been the same amount of ETH on the other on each side?
Not at that time.
So which side has there more? Because you also have to understand there are on other chains too, right?
Yeah, but this was before they were on
Yeah,
other
but you have to
chains.
realize that all these other chains, Jimrat, are all powered by which coin? You think they're powered by the stable coins?
No, the native coin.
No. And where do you think the native coin gets its value? By the exchange?
Right.
Most of the good EVM compatible layer ones have most of their liquidity on Ethereum. So that means that in order to get into that coins to then do any bridge or whatever to get the native, depending on how they used to do their distribution, you most probably had to either bridge in or sell your ETH in order to get that coin.
Right. True.
That's why
But
to me
yeah, when you
it's like okay, like I don't think that people bitch about the down forever coin in the right way. So it just makes everyone look stupid, in my opinion. It's like at least if you were to give, like I'm not protecting it, nor am I defending it, nor am I shitting on it because it's like the only thing I see from it is that if the liquidity on one side is maintained, then the coin will go down forever. But that doesn't mean that you can't make money. That's what they're
yeah, I have
proving.
like
That's what they're
I
proving.
have like 3 billion of them, and I've just been like sitting, not paying attention to it at all. Like if something happens to it, I
And then
don't
if you
care.
have, Hex Hangout explain it to you, he explains it very well the way it really is dog shit. Because it's like you could
Yeah,
just
he
make
looked at
something
some of the
else in a
design
different
flaws.
way, but it doesn't take away the fact that most people shit on it for absolutely the stupidest reasons. It's like, oh, it goes like no offense, Adrian, but like it goes down forever. Okay, why are we still minting and making money? Explain me that.
Right, and that's what bothered me. That's why I was so aggressive about it early on, is because I was talking about it,
Yeah,
and I
it's
was
because
trying
I
to
feel
stay
like
open
people.
minded, and people were just they were giving me that old bullshit, like just regurgitating whatever Richard said kind of response. But Hex Hangout and I talked on the phone, and he explained to me some of the design flaws from what he was seeing in the back. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a step back from this because I like Hex Hangout, and he explained it at the time. I wrote notes on it, but I can't. It was months ago.
He sadly puts you back down to earth with the real. Like he'll look at you and be like, "Yeah, but it's this," and you'll be like, "Yeah, but this," and you'll be like, "No, this," and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, you're right. Fuck." Okay.
Well, he only addresses something if he truly knows something that he knows I wouldn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So he
I
like
like the way you
talks to
said that.
me, and
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, like he knows I won't know these certain factors. So he kind of talks to me in the background and explains it, and then I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that makes a lot more sense than everyone just saying Jack's a fucking vampire, because I really was just learning. Like I was interested.
You know,
It was,
he is
and I
absolutely
still
right.
am just paying
He
attention.
is absolutely right. The only thing that I kind of was right about was Tony, because now we get to see Tony's true colors. Because if we would have just blocked him, we would have never known. But anyways, I love Hex Hangout. He's like me when I go emotional. Like when I go super emotional, that's how Hex Hangout runs it. But he's super calm about it and just.
I say he's like my spiritual guidance within the
He's a
crypto. Like I
positive
tell him, I
fucking.
listen to everything he
He's a
says.
positive, calm, famous. Because fuck, when I go emotional, you have to pay attention because emotion is. It's just because I know the severity of what the person is doing. Every time I've went emotional, it's always for a reason. But yeah, Hex Hangout's chill. But Adrian, you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's like this down forever coin to me. It's like when I hear people say that to me, it's like it's so stupid because it's supposed to go down. Like I remember when the guy first started this shit, and I think there was like 5 zeros or 4 zeros. He's like, I want 18 zeros. And I was like, oh shit, you want to make it you want to make it one way. Like literally, the guy wants one fucking way. So okay. If you want that.
Yeah, and all my mints have still been. I think there was a couple that I did way early that weren't profitable, but like
I'm still
every
at 3x profit on mints, at least.
yeah, exactly. So I just wanted to be able to talk about it. So I had to give it like a couple months because people were just fucking really giving me the
I
haterade for
can
a
keep buying
while.
HSIs because I'm gonna have all kinds of ETH to fucking just on stake. It's like who's really laughing? That's why I want to tell people just shit like
Right.
we don't have to ever talk about it. It's like just don't talk about it. Just like no one talks about the other coins and what they're doing and what they succeed in. Like why do we even have to talk about it? If we're
But it's also the same thing, like the problems with Hex that I used to bring up, in my opinion, like with gas fees and everything. Everyone's just like, shut the fuck up. They're like, shut the fuck up, Richard's a god. And I'm like, yeah, I know Richard's a god, dude. Like, obviously. But like, at the same time, like, you got to read between the lines a little bit about why he's doing everything that he's doing and like why it's important that we all keep paying attention and staying sharp. Because I got people over here
he
fucking staking 2,000 hex for
do
15
you
years,
really
like in
do you
ladders.
think that
And
Richard
I'm
does
like,
what he does because he has to because no one does? Because like the balance of like I wonder if he actually considers balance because imagine he has to go so hard to the point where it's like, well, he needs to be who he is because or else it wouldn't be balanced. That's what I've thought about because it's like we need these people to keep doing things that they do wrong in order for us to have Richard look even more better. Because the day
yeah, but
everyone
like, doesn't
listens
it
to
happen
Richard,
like
well,
on repeat?
Richard will just
Yeah, I guess
leave.
that's how he gets a lot of his props from like saving people from like the really critical stuff like this. He gets long-term followers from that. Like if people listen to him about the centralized exchanges, Terra Luna, Celsius, everything, like they really would have saved their entire life. And it's really kind of bizarre. We're just early as fuck still. I'm about to buy some Hex though. I hope it goes fucking. I do this every goddamn week though. Like I'm like about to buy some Hex and I buy it and then I'm like fuck. And then I just do that on repeat all the time. Because I like, now that I have enough where I'm earning like an actual amount of money per day, I'm like, oh, this is chill. Like, like a substantial-ish amount of money per day. Like whether that's 50, 100, or like, I don't want to say exactly, but like, because I really don't know. But it gets cooler when you're earning like an actual income from it. Even though not taking it out or unstaking it, but I'm like starting to get to the point where it's like, oh shit, I hope it stays down for a fucking while. I hope fucking everything goes to fucking zero. Like, and that's just the position that I'm in, though. Some people that are like 6,000 T shares, 1,000 T shares, like, they're going to be in a different position. Mentally, they're just going to want the shit to be finished, I guess. But for the guys that are the average Joe in Hex, like, this is a godsend for me. Like, I just get to earn yield and, like, make some money and then do it again. And then it's like buying a house, but you don't have to do anything. It's fucking sick. Obviously, more risk, more volatility. You could buy a little too high. Like I bought some at 10 cents, but well, I never buy that much at one time either. Like I don't, just never found any pleasure in like pressing the buy button on like a good amount of my money. Because I'm like, it's just too volatile, and I can't guess this shit. Like, I'm not drawing triangles on a chart. Like, I'm not doing it. I don't fucking draw any triangles. And to be
Hey,
honest, we were at 3 cents fucking 2 months, like 3 months ago. So like, we've been killing it.
hey, famous, I don't want to talk about that coin, but I just want to give you the answers. I've checked out, and Uniswap spent 25 million since appearance until today, and Hex spent 21 million.
You sure?
Yep.
So we spent only $21 million in gas fees.
This is what it appears in Uniswap for transaction fees.
And then you have to look at the badge
That's
manager too,
crazy.
because it's separate.
That's crazy. So if that's not good. Well, I'm not even gonna continue what I want to say. Anyways, next conversation.
Yeah, so let's talk about
you realize what you
strategy
just
too.
said, right, Adrian?
Tell me, I want to hear.
So you just said that there was more ETH used in transactions on Zen than there was in Hex.
So in Zen it was 11 million in a short period of time, and in Hex since appearance it was 21 million, so
I thought you
almost
said
double.
it did 25. I was like, holy shit! So then, so we did double.
Double, but in 4 years, 3 years.
What do you want me to? Is that like I just want to understand? Is that bad or is that good?
I don't see the point of that money lost in nothing, basically.
How is it lost?
In the design.
Wait. I want to understand why you think it's lost in nothing.
Because it was spent just for minting. I don't know. It could have went into the coin development, into the liquidity pools, into something useful for them, not for the
How would you get?
validator.
Oh, I'm confused. You realize that minting is a function, right?
Yeah, I get it totally, but I'm saying they could have used another design in which people didn't have to do 5,000 wallets each one, and maybe use that capital for something useful for the project. This is what I've said.
But that's yeah. I'm just confused because let me go get the numbers. I'm not bullshitting you.
It's like you are either designing a car with one engine and you are going on the highway with 80 miles, or designing it with 3 engines and you are going on the highway with 80 miles.
It was December 2019, right?
Yep.
Hex?
Hey, do you guys mind if I chime in? Because you're really brutalizing Zen, and I can maybe help clarify some things for you guys if you want.
I'm okay. I'm not really brutalizing it, but
No, I mean you're wrong. Like you're you're making mistakes about it, and so if you expend energy, right? Think about even if you're to prop up a network, if you're gonna mine Bitcoin, you have to expend energy, you have to expend capital, right? So even when you expend capital on purchasing Hex, right? You have to create that energy by virtue of whatever your own efforts are. You have to make the money.
the Hex was created by Bitcoin, so it's
but
the
to buy
calculation.
it,
It doesn't
you have
matter
to
about
use
to
your
buy it.
energy. You have to use your energy to buy it.
No, you had to create it at the beginning. So at the beginning of Hex, you have to
No, I'm
understand.
talking about now. If I want to go buy 100,000 Hex, I got to work. I got to get the money,
or you can mint it.
and I got to buy it, right? So all I'm doing is I'm making a determination, looking at Zen and saying, well, I can generate Zen using a low barrier of entry
I understand.
and to capitalize on it. So that's number one. So think about it like this: when you create more currency, right? Like
Yeah.
when there's more dollars, is it good for assets or is it bad for assets? Like when the U.S. government prints money, is it good or bad?
It
My
depends for
idea
the.
was
It
where
depends.
does that
It
energy,
depends for the general. For util. If you look at it, you have to look at it in four different ways. Darwinistically, it's good.
Yeah,
Egoistically, it's good.
yeah,
Utilitarianistically, it's good.
yeah.
And I guess the other one would be Kant's moral theory. So the reason why they're doing it is to help. So I guess in every moral way that we see morality, it is good to inflate the money.
Okay, yeah,
what I was saying,
But my
Atticus,
point
I'm
was
saying that
was that like it's doing very well when it comes to the gas, like spending gas, because to me it's like, okay, it makes the gas fees go up. Okay, that's okay, I understand that. But the fact that people are expending their energy onto something to create it, and then the liquidity pools don't really reflect the price of it because it still hasn't figured out its point of non-inflation or countering its inflation curve. And like, if you technically want to get into specifics, in order to have mint, like Hex was created with how much is this number? $1.2 billion worth of assets, because 9.1 million Bitcoin were utilized in order to create Hex, right? So just like Zen is using Ethereum in order to mint it, right? Well, someone had to have the Bitcoin available and bought it and had the value, just like Ethereum has a value and people are spending it in order to give it back into the system. So like, if we were to go about and look at what Hex has done on ETH compared to what Zen is doing, the numbers are impressing me, but that's it. But like I told Jack personally, the problem is your liquidity. Your liquidity is not being utilized properly because you guys are just keep dumping it. Now you need projects in order to pump the price. There needs to be a reason for you to just buy it. If there isn't, then at this moment in time, everyone needs to learn that the price will go down, and it is normal. If the price doesn't go down, it means that something's happening. If not, then the normality of Zen will, the price will go down because you're able to mint at an extensive rate, like you said, where you could put less economical power and get more. Why would you spend more in order to get? Like,
okay, yeah.
I agree
So
with you. I agree
yeah,
with you.
and so
But the point is that people need to understand that the education of Zen needs to be like, well, the price is going to go down forever.
yeah, that's not true. So let me explain. So number one, this is not an either or proposition. I'm a Hexican. I'm one of the top pulse chain sacrificers, and the fact that I like Zen doesn't mean I don't like Hex. So we should just dispel that from the get go.
I don't mind if you like it or not.
Yeah,
I still mint Zen too, and I take it for
yeah.
my hex stakes.
So
It's just a strategy.
yeah, so let me tell you what's developing. So the inflation, the price, take all that out. To me, the inflation is good. It's adoption. It's Zen in more people's hands. The amount of users. If you look at the unique visits on the website, I could be off of my numbers, but I think they're well over 300,000 people in a matter of months. Obviously, millions of wallets, but that doesn't represent individuals. But what's being created is a reflexive system. So you guys call it down forever coin, but you got to think of Zen as a currency. So it's the basis that it's an ecosystem that's being built around Zen, and Zen is the currency. So you're right, it inflates and it's easy to adopt it, but what's being built around it are hard assets. So there's going to be a reflexive system, and that's why I made the analogy about the dollar, right? When there's too many dollars, hard assets and assets, the price of assets go up. When the amount of dollars are diminishing, and they're doing quantitative tightening, then people want to hoard the dollars, and then they basically they go there, right? So you think of Zen in this, and I'm gonna make a point in a sec, but just think of Zen in that on that basis. So now you have Zen going up, and people are minting. They're more incentivized to mint. More is going to be created, but eventually it's going to get to the point where they want to sell it. But there, as of today, there's 4 hard asset ecosystems being built around it. You've got Nex, you've got X1, you've got DBZen, and then you've got Phoenix, which is inflationary. So it's not. So these are non-inflating coins, right? So if as the price goes down, you're going to have an incentive to burn your Zen for these hard assets. So that's what I mean. If the price comes down too hard, then you're going to look at these, there's going to be an issuance rate from these hard assets, and you'll be incentivized to trade in your Zen for this hard asset, and you're going to basically, because the value is greater, and then vice versa. When the price of Zen starts going up too high, then people will want to hoard their Zen. And this is a whole ecosystem, and there's so many people, and people are so passionate about this ecosystem, to come in and say, it's called proof of burn Zen, it's currency, you have to use it. It's not meant to hold.
One thing I'm
Don't
going to
look at the
say
price.
as
Yeah.
a host is we can get off the Zen talk. This isn't a Zen chat. I haven't muted anybody or anything. I'm just saying we can move on to a different topic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
boys,
I
I got
just
a
want to
question
jump
for you
up,
when you get a
but
chance.
you got to understand it before you criticize it, man. And there's so much happening. I'll leave it at that, and go from there.
I got a hex question, not a Zen question. When you'll get the chance.
Ask.
So, for somebody that didn't or wasn't around during the sacrifice
Yeah,
phase for
I
Pulse and
just
Pulse X,
keep it amicable.
yeah, for sure. I know. I
It's like
got you.
every hex base turns into a discussion about
might-
that coin.
Gamma.
So it doesn't always have to
Yeah.
be the case. It's fine.
This
Yeah,
might
well,
not.
there's a
This
guy
might
asking
be
a
the last
question. I don't know
time
if you can
I
hear
come
him.
into this space. My goodness. Correct.
All right, guys, just relax. Just fucking relax.
Okay, so
Jesus Christ, have a fucking conversation. It's fine. All right, but ask that hex question.
what are we thinking about? I mean, I know it's way too early to tell, and all this stuff is speculation, whatever. Not financial advice. Hex or ETH to swap for Pulse and Pulse X. I've heard ETH and I've heard Hex.
Well, it's going to depend on the ratios of what you have and what
Forever
you want.
one coin. That's the only thing
Hex,
we'll call it. Forever and
no,
ever
Hex
and
4.
ever
Come
and
on, we're
ever.
answering
This
the
Okay.
shit
Anyways,
question.
guys,
We're
the
answering
guy has
the
a
question.
fucking hex question next.
Yeah, hex,
Right.
full chain, before, like anything like that is cool.
Guys, I think you could not hear Hex Taker.
Yeah, I
You are
could hear
missing the-
him,
Oh,
More
okay.
just
but I don't know if
trying to
anyone
figure
else
out
could.
what to hold before the fork.
Hex.
Obviously not USDC. Obviously not fucking any of the stable coins.
Get
Well, there's
T-shares,
gonna
man.
be.
Get T-shares. By my calculations, the best strategy you could do is capitalize on something that gets copied that you won't be able to purchase at that price. Guaranteed. Like coins will go down. Coins always do go down.
So you think guaranteed?
It's the
on
only
the
thing
other
guaranteed
side.
is that the T-share price will not be the same tomorrow as it
Oh,
is
I guess
today.
that's
And
true.
if you could get it now, you're chilling.
Yeah, but what if USD valuation wise, you're missing the boat because you spent
Yeah, but
the
you
last
can
20
buy
grand that you
PRC
had?
20s. How do you really think any PRC 20 from the get go is going to be more expensive than what the Ethereum version of it is? It's going to
No,
dump like
but
a fucking.
I still think telling someone to buy T-shares, especially when you don't know how much capital they have, could be counterintuitive because what if he only? I'm not saying anything about him. I
It's
don't
the
know
best
him,
thing to
but
get copied, bro. Okay, so tell me something that could be copied that is better than getting a T-share. Like, I want to know because the way I've been thinking about it, right? Because I've been in the dilemma,
yeah,
right?
but he's
If
asking about
someone's
what to
holding liquid hex,
swap.
they want to buy something, right? Okay, well, but why don't you just buy it? Like, if you're gonna trade something for it and there's no bridge, okay, fine. Now you're just doing something that we don't, quote unquote, promote, and it's something non-predictable because we don't know what's happening. But what we do
Well,
know is happening.
let's put it this way. I've seen from both Rags to Riches and K4K to get ETH ready for when Pulse and Pulse Chain launches to swap for whatever. But I'm also hearing that this damn ETH stake thing is being unstaken with the 12th.
But regardless of what these guys are saying, man, you got to consider two things which none of them are talking about, which is the PRC 20s will be able, the bridge is there or it's not. If it's not there, then anything you have on Ethereum is completely fucking useless. If you have the bridge, then whatever is on PRC is going to be on ERC, and whatever is on ERC will be available on PRC. And if you think it's going to be easier for you to get something to the PRC and then do something with it, It's going to be much harder than for you to just use your ERC20s and purchase the PRC wrapped version that people will bring over, because it is going to be profitable for liquidity providers to get half of the bag already worth something.
I think it's also important to note, though, like having money, like having some asset that definitely has value on one side is also important. Like putting all your eggs in one basket and then potentially losing out on having tradable assets that have, for sure, a fuckload of value, like Ethereum on, like
Ethereum's
Ethereum,
completely
you
useless on
know.
fork, man. Ethereum is completely
Yeah, I
fucking
know it's
useless.
useless on fork, but it's worth
It doesn't
$1,800,
matter. It's still
and
going to be
everything
worth
on fork is
$1,800
worth
on fork.
zero.
It's like, you think the fork is going to somehow magically drop the
No,
price of ETH? It will
I
drop
know,
the
yeah,
price
but
of
it could drop
Hex.
the price of
It
Hex.
will drop the
It
price
could
of Hex.
exactly,
Exactly, but
exactly.
it's not going to stop you
So
from
people are
getting a
holding
copy
Hex
of
and they're holding
something to
ETH.
lock in the price. Do you understand, Jimrat, that we might see, like, it could go 3 times more the price on T-shares? People were doing daily stakes, weekly stakes, fucking 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, you name it. They're going to be doing so many fucking stakes. It's going to completely change the numbers. And then you're going to, that doesn't include the bigger boys realizing and adjusting themselves to us, right? Because of what.
I just think it's important to have real money on when it launches. I mean, I obviously am excited for all the opportunities that come, and I try to stay even on basically all the planes. But like, I think it's really important to remember, like, putting all it depends on your situation, really. Like, if you know you're going to be making a fuck ton of money in the next year, like, does it really matter? Probably not. But
Well,
like,
let's
if
put it
you're
this
trying,
way too, because I'm thinking about this also. Is they're going? I mean, obviously, no one knows for sure. I've seen projects, created around this. Is there going to be some sort of an on ramp to buy Pulse and PulseX
Of
directly?
course there will be. Someone's going to do it. Someone's going to create it. There's been multiple things. The exchanges are going to have it. They're somehow going to get it. Someone will. It will happen just like it did for other things. Now, the time that it will take is not determined. It's not predetermined. It's not like it's locked, right? Now, their on-ramps is one thing. Bridging is another. Being able to supply an exchange with so much, so like that, then they could allow depositing also. It's like, that's inevitable. It's going to happen. Like, we have to stop maybe predicting that. What we can predict is what's happening, what's gonna happen. Well, you're gonna either have 2 options. It's gonna be a bridge or no bridge. So what can you do at the beginning that no one else is gonna be getting? It's like, if something goes up at first, it's gonna come back down. If it goes back down at first, it's gonna come back up. So if people are active in the first 48 hours, I think, and I've been thinking about this like a madman. How can I help those who really need it, and how can I help myself? The best option is to lock in that T-share price. It's literally the best, even pre-fork, because it's like, once you have it, it's locked. And I would suggest to lock in your long-term stakes, because the long-term stakes on PRC is where it's going to be. There's going to be like 50. It's going to, the highest, the T-share payout will be much higher on PR, and on my opinion, in Pulse Chain than it will be on Ethereum.
So
Yeah,
recommended.
because of shorter
Now,
stakes.
I
It's
know
not just because of the
I might be
shorter
treading
stakes.
in a
It's gonna
different kind of
We're gonna be
territory here.
burning T-shares at a much faster rate, and it's gonna be harder to recreate those T-shares. That's the way the system works. Because when you like
Right.
it, we saw it with all 3 of the forks, man. Like, I can't stress this enough. We were on stream on RG3. Go check it out. Me and RG3 on DeFi Syndicate. We saw the T-share price, and like 5 minutes later, it went up because people started unstaking. They do this, they do that. People play with it. The shit is gonna go bonkers, and you locking it in at that T-share price will be more beneficial, because the other coins, whether there's a bridge or not, are gonna be purchasable with the other assets that you have. Now, what I'm telling you, okay, and I'm telling you this is for sure, is that you can't go wrong to get something that you could get more of in order to get whatever you want after. Also, there's another way, which I don't really feel like giving out the alpha, but like, you could probably purchase in the first 48 hours a lot of cool things, because gas price will be so fucking cheap that all that money you're saving, you could put it in to going and like doing a strategy where you're locking in T-shares. You're locking in these T-shares at a discounted price. And that is a fucking deal. It is a fucking deal. So like, to me, it's like, yo, man, I think T-shares is the best option. the Pulse X and Pulse will still be there. Whether you buy ETH at 15 cents or 25 cents at the beginning, I don't think it really would have made a difference. If you bought ETH at $1 or 15 cents, I don't think it would have made that much of a difference.
Right, Humble has his hand up. If anyone sees that, can he ask whatever he's gonna interject or whatever?
Can you guys hear me okay? Or am I in a fishbowl? Can you hear me okay, Jim Rat? Am I coming in at all?
Yes, you're good, sir.
Okay. So the gentleman that asked the question, is he still up here?
Sir, yes, sir.
Yes, he is.
I just want to ask you a question. If you knew Pulse Chain was opening up, say next Friday, but you had the opportunity to buy Hex the day before with your let's just say you have dry powder for 1 cent per Hex, what would you do?
I'm buying Hex for sure.
That's
Hex,
a simple
baby.
question. Would you buy the Hex and not even think about it?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So now think of it this way. Let's just say that, now this isn't the way it's probably not going to go, but I'm just going to just say the most popular thing that people talk about over last year. Everybody's going to sell Hex or Pulse Chain, right? So what's that mean? It means that if that happens, Hex's price versus Pulse Chain and other things is going to go down, right? Its ratio is going to go down versus other things. If that's the case, if you own, say, something like Icosa or Hedron, they don't follow Hex traditionally as fast, right? So let's just say I'm sitting there and I've got Hedron and Icosa, and everybody's doing that. I'm going to realize that I used to be able to get 1 Hex for, say, 20 Icosa, but all of a sudden I can get 50 Hex for 20 Icosa. Do you think it'd be profitable to trade my Icosa for Hex? Because what's Hex going to do in about a day? It's going to go up, right? And if it does that, now I've increased my value in my token, and which will increase my purchase power versus Pulse or Pulse X, right? Because Pulse and Pulse X is going to go wild. It's going to go back and forth. So another strategy you can do, like Famous was just saying, is not focus on the thing that everybody's going to be focused on, but focus on the things that actually give you opportunity to increase your purchase power. So it's not, nobody knows what's going to happen, but the smart people aren't going to be focusing on Pulse and Pulse X. They may be focused on like them when they actually do it, their little dips, but they're going to be focusing on the other things that like Hex, because believe it or not, everybody here is here because of Hex. They want more Hex. Everybody here wants more Hex. Well, what if the opportunity presents itself where you're actually able to get Hex for 2 cents again? But you won't know that because it's ratio trading. But you will know what your value of Hex or Icosa and Hedron are ratio-wise versus Hex at the fork, right? So just you need to be a little bit more open-minded when you think about this stuff. Don't focus on what everybody's kind of like making you focus on, because you're going to lose opportunity. If you're sitting here trying to find the right strategy, you're going to lose out on it because it's not going to be a strategy that works for longer than 5 minutes, right? And if that's the case, that means you got to be able to be there when Pulse Chain launches. And who knows, it might launch at 2 a.m. your time. You might be asleep and it might already be open, running for 8 hours, right? So you need to have other strategies in place. You got to be able to know how to not be so emotional and feel like you're losing, because remember, there's opportunity and volatility in the first 48 hours. That means that there's a lot of profit that can be made, but there's a lot more loss that tends to happen too. And so I don't know how funny this is, but everybody continues to say, I'm going to sit on my hands, and except for a couple of people are like, well, I'm going to be very specific on what I'm going to be doing. It's only going to be a small percentage of my bag that I'm going to be using, and so on and so forth, right? And so I don't know about you, but when I hear the smartest people in my ecosystem saying that, it's probably a hint, right? It means that they're not going to get caught up in the hype. They're not going to get caught up in the emotions. They're going to be like, I got my strategy. It's if this reaches a certain point down low, I'm going to do what I can to buy it, So it's not really a good answer, but it's just more of the fact that, if you're asking for these strategies, nobody can give you an exact strategy because not even the best people know what's going to happen. But they have about 20 strategies and they have 20 things that they're looking for. And if they see it, they might act on it, right? So that's the kind of mindset maybe you should start thinking about, that's a strategy on itself as well. So
No,
that's my thought.
that's a great answer, man. I definitely I just kind of wanted to ask that just to get everybody's opinions on what what everybody was going to do at the fork. I have heard a lot of just when PulseChain launches to not do shit. I'm specifically going to keep myself out of that 24 to 48-hour window, just to kind of see where shit happens. But quite honestly, I'm just going to keep my fucking eyes on Twitter for like 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours, and just see what the hell's going on. Emotionally, I'm going to stay out of
Well,
it
the
as
floor
best
is
I
open
can.
apparently, unless I can't hear somebody speak.
Oh yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think Hexedra and Icosa will be the ultimate plays on the other chain, no doubt about it. And yes, you do want to get the T-shares as soon as you can because yeah, they will ramp up. I think like a third more than like on the east side, easy, like within a month. It's just going to man, it's just going to go hyperbolic. But I also feel that it's going to be some people that's going to of course, dump all their hex, to get Pulse Chain or Pulse X, which is going to be a hell of a opportunity for anyone to actually scoop up hex on that other chain and make stakes for very cheap. You make rolling stakes. Not only that, with the Hedra and Icosa, with the HSIs, that's going to be on that side too. It's going to be fucking parabolic. It really is. It's just going to be a great fucking opportunity. That's all I see, man. So another thing I also wanted to state was V4. I think what the main reason for V4 coming out, I think, is because Pulse X. Trying to get the fine tuningness of Pulse X down, especially like with the bridge liquidity. Try to hook up with ETH.
The reason for V4 is the adjustment in inflation for the validator set.
That's the main reason.
That's the reason. I'll just tell you the reason so people can not speculate on it.
Well, so the validators could get more rewards for the transactions.
The inflation. So right now on V3, the inflation was never adjusted. The rewards for being a validator were never adjusted to reflect the 1 million to 1.2 million adjustment in Pulse to Ethereum, which needed to be adjusted. So because the validators were being underfunded, under incentivized to exist on the chain, which is a bad thing because you need there to be, a lot of validators. So now with V4 launching, that is being fixed. There's also some, like there's some other issues, right? There's a lot of stuff being fixed, but most of those reasons wouldn't need a new network. The inflation does though. It would require a hard fork. Now we got me and Hex Hangout were talking a little while ago about the reason why there would need to be a new network, and technically you could do it through a hard fork, but then that takes weeks of planning, and then you gotta write the code. It's gotta be finalized, and then you gotta set that date out like by a block height, a few weeks in advance, and then you are, then you're waiting for the block height to show up, and then all of the clients are on the same page, and then doesn't stall out and collapse. So, instead of doing that, then you are just, do it before and much faster.
Sounds like a plan then. Yeah. It's cool. At the meantime, accumulate. So,
I mean, it's literally what Richard said in the tweet. You know what I mean? But I just gave it more context.
I didn't read that tweet today. A lot of pop-ups.
So, besides that, the fuck's happening? So Hillary Clinton, the fuck's happening to the world, man? There's so much fucking shit going on. It's like I don't even know how to keep up. Does anyone realize that? There's like so
Stay away.
much shit
Stay
happening.
away from the.
Have you guys realized that there's like so much shit happening that you're just not even in tune? I just feel like I'm
Yeah, they're
so
What
trying
busy
to
in
happened?
protect
life,
you, man.
and I'm so out of tune of like what's outside of my bubble. But I've realized that there's all kinds of shit happening outside of my bubble, and it's like every time. It's so funny.
Well, just call it an encapsulation from the bullshit.
You know how many times that happens to me? Like every time something goes crazy in my life, it's like inside my bubble I'm going crazy, but the outside is going crazy, and I just don't realize it.
Yeah.
Like fuck, imagine being in the space and be like V4. What the fuck? I'm like, is it true? This like Gamma must be like, no, guys, it's not V4. It's gonna be V4, but it's just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just freaking out. Oh well.
Should have called it V3B.
Who cares? It is what it is. I just want mainnet perfect. If you can make mainnet perfect, which I don't know if that's plausible, but
Well,
like I think it would
Yeah,
only
that's
be
if
perfect
it's
at the
possible.
end. Well, it is possible, but we would only be able to actually say it was perfect because of its actual performance at the end, not at the beginning. Like
I think you're on that.
like the
Joshua,
output is so
there he is.
unpredictable. No, don't you?
Wait for the pink. All right, here we go.
I'm like,
Oh,
Hey, Joshua.
Hey,
yeah,
Gamma, you got
Mike.
an open mic.
I'm at swimming
Hi,
school.
Josh. Hi,
Yeah, I
Josh.
know. It's Mike. I just dropped my kids off at swimming school.
I didn't know if you knew that we could hear you or not, so we're just giving you a heads up.
No, it's cool. Thanks, appreciate that.
so when does V4 drop? I'm just kidding. I don't even care.
Whenever Richard tells you it's live.
Yeah, I know. I was being a smart ass.
I mean, there is a big holiday weekend, you know. So, you know, maybe after the weekend, you know, at some point in the future.
It sounds like it's easier to just launch another version of a testnet instead of adding all these features. And
It is faster.
yeah,
You're just
so
booting up a new network
V5.
as opposed to upgrading all the people who are now stakeholders in the current network. It's
yeah,
infinitely
so
easier.
that's the reason they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, anyway it goes, we'll be all right.
I'm not
So
worried.
there is a time in the future where that will not be an option, you know, mainnet, and then we got to do it the old-fashioned way by hard forking the network with the required changes, planning, community involvement, pay. Everyone update your clients. This major update's happening soon. Blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like, but we're not there yet.
I tell you, this is like where the market's starting to go back into a bull market, just like 2019. It's just boring. People just want shit to bitch about, and this is a good focus point for a lot of people who are salty or just fucking impatient.
You
I mean,
know,
the market's weird, man, and I mean the climate of the world now, they just don't know where the fuck to go. And I feel that, you know, crypto is the hedge now. I mean, look at gold, for God's sake. It went up like, what, $200, I guess, in the last month or so. So, and not only that, look at the way Bitcoin went up. I think people are looking for the protection. And now you got fucking, what's this Treasury Department trying to bring this bullshit edict out.
Yeah, the one they murdered the Cash App guy over. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Fed now.
Yeah.
Fed now.
Yeah.
Come on, they ain't fooling anybody. It's like Seth Rich. They'll never find these killers. They'll never find these killers.
And
It's like Seth Rich.
shit still in FBI storage. It's just a simple robbery, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but yet they put a 68-year release on his records. Like no one can see. They're sealed for 68 years. Why the fuck would you steal records for a guy
Like
who
some
was just
Kennedy shit.
robbed?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean they make it so obvious what they're doing. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah.
They killed that dude.
And
Now there's
all of
no
a sudden,
competition to take to court.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No litigation, nothing. They can just release their shit in July. They killed the guy who it's basically a fork of Cash App. It's basically what it is. And now they just got rid of that guy. Like, all right, let's release this shit now. It's fucking ridiculous.
What's tripped out is that you got people like him, and look at the maker guy, in Puerto Rico. I mean,
Yeah.
RH, man, shit. RH, even fucking Levin's ass. I mean, dude, they're
It
fucking
makes you
bullseye targets now.
did it ever make a difference, the law?
Say that
I
again,
said
famous.
it makes you think, like, did it ever make a difference, the law? Like, even now at this point, we all know, but it's just because we're looking for it and we know where to look now. It's just like it's always been there. These stories, these outcomes.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like it's
It's like,
always
are
been
you
this
really surprised?
obvious.
This is exactly how every movie went.
Yeah.
Not surprised at all. And it's sad that everybody just kind of rolls over and takes it. There's nothing we can
But
do
if anything,
unless
we've
you
been.
against them.
To us, it seems like we're taking it. But to be honest with you, in history, if anything, we're doing more than we've ever done ever. Our forefathers took they would see in plain sight. They'd see murder in plain sight and not say nothing and just go back to their lives like it was nothing.
That's
They would see
true.
someone get their head cut. They'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, someone's getting their head cut off today. Let's go check it out. Bring the kids.
He got murdered
Yeah.
on
Yay!
Lost
It's
Level.
like
Execution.
it's
No
not
trial.
Manchester United with Manchester City football game or like the fucking it's not Patriots. It's like, oh, someone's getting their head chopped off. A couple people, oh, 4 guys, yes sir. A minute
Extended it to
Yay!
smooth.
on us, bro. Like, anyways, man. But yeah, I think we're just doing better now.
So I wanted to just we went off on a tangent here, but I was just thinking about how lucky all of us are. I wanted to show gratitude for this community and this ecosystem, mainly because you guys, I don't know about you guys, you know, a year and a half now, you know, for the pulse chain, like, you know, the bear market and everything. But the fact that we've had influencers, you know, Matt Alley's in here, we got Famous, you know, all our influencers, they've been active all the way through this. We've had people like Gamma educating us on validators. We've had so many projects that have come to fruition to give us something to keep active through this bear market, and you know, while we wait for Pulse Chain to come out. And I'm so thankful for all these guys, you know, giving us something to go, you know, to look forward to every week, whether it's, you know, their streams, this space, you know, their projects. You know, we got projects being opened on Ethereum now that are going to be on Pulse Chain even, and it's given us all these opportunities. But mainly, it's given us a chance to actually be here and stay interested in the bear market. And I don't know about you guys, but it's really hard to do. As you can see in the rest of the communities, there's nobody. It's like a ghost town, right? You're only seeing, you know, a small fraction of everybody. But because of these people that you're listening to, and the people that, you know, influencers, the YouTubers, the people on, you know, Twitter Spaces, Twitter, you know, got the projects, the new projects, we've got contracts, you know, all these things, the highest of stakes, right? Not even that, the politics stuff, you know, side of it, the legal side of it. They're giving us all this stuff to keep us interested. And it's really hard to DCA when you just like check out, right? But because of all these people, all these guys that just are showing so much love and support for all of us, all you guys and all of us are reaping the benefits of it. And you guys may not understand this, but if these guys weren't here and we didn't have all these influencers, I'm just going to say all these people as influencers, you guys probably wouldn't be here right now, and you wouldn't be DCAing, and you wouldn't be notified of all these opportunities of Pulse Chain, of sacrifices, of, you know, launch dates, of airdrops, that you wouldn't be seeing any of this. You wouldn't be benefiting from any of it. But I just want to show the gratitude that these people deserve, because they aren't in these other communities, and these other communities don't really exist right now, right? And they're not benefiting from this information. And so, again, thank you. I just want to say thank you to all you guys that may fall into that category, because we know how much you mean to this community and to us, and what you actually did and are doing for us, above and beyond what you may think. So I just wanted to throw that out there for you guys, because I was kind of contemplating on that yesterday, and it's kind of a shame if you think about it and you don't say it. So we know how much work you guys put in, and we appreciate it.
Appreciate you, humble man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're right, man. We are in an extraordinary position, you know, under the circumstances of what's around us. But that just goes to show you the mindset that we put ourselves in order to capitalize on the opportunity. And thank God for people that actually, you know, create things for this ecosystem, you know. And not only that, spread the word, definitely, especially like, you know, Famous and Maddie, definitely Maddie. I mean, shit. You know, I mean, since day one, since I've been in since 2020, like April, I've seen a very positive change in people. And that's what good things do to good people, you know. I thank God for the opportunity. Yeah. Thank y'all.
Well, thank yourself for making it last. Because if you didn't show up, if people wouldn't show up, it probably would have been given up on. But the fact that you come, you listen, you participate, the person next to you participates. I thank Humble for this too, because it's like each and every one of you, in my opinion, give something back to this community, or else I would curse you out and I'd tell you to go fuck yourself. Personally, I think everyone that I've kept in here that I really fight for does something for the community, whether it's kind of good or it's subconsciously good for all of the people that are good in this community. Don't ask me why, but I just feel like, it's kind of thanks to you guys too, man. There's no I in team.
I'm just glad we got a place to go to for actual fucking truth, man, and not these goddamn lies that people are watching on fucking TV and shit. Everybody in here, I feel like at least most, if not everybody in here in the Hex community itself, all are here for a reason, and that's to seek the damn truth. We're seeking the truth in the world around us. We're seeking the truth in what money actually is compared to what we're told money is. I mean, it's just the fucking truth, man. And it's like just in a world where it's so many fake shit. It's refreshing to know that everybody wants the same thing.
Yeah, the whole world's a stage, and we're not participating. That's the thing. This huge act that all these globalists are putting on, and these
Burning that fucking
communities.
stage down.
Yeah, we're burning it down. We're not fucking taking this shit anymore. That's what I mean. They didn't want Elon taking over Twitter for this reason. He's I'm not even a big fan of Elon's, but he's done great things for Twitter to help get real news out there. And they're getting fucking butthurt because mainstream media has always been a joke, but now we can go and find out real world events in real time on Twitter, and it's upsetting the powers that be. And now we can communicate with each other through spaces about our community. I mean, this is great. This is better than Telegram, and this is how you spread the word and
It
how
actually,
people.
it is better, but it's so much better on those platforms, man. Discord, Telegram.
Yeah,
It's like we
yeah,
use YouTube,
I
but
agree.
Twitch is so much better. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like somehow it's so funny. It was like, yo, we used Facebook, but MySpace was so much better.
yeah, that's a good point, man.
Like think about it,
Well,
when
it's just like,
Facebook came out, everyone wanted
yeah,
it because it just didn't have the stupid music that started when you see like it's like, but then you look back at it now and be like, man, the coolest thing of MySpace, fuck, man. Like,
yeah.
man,
You can put your own track, the track of the
I'm just
month.
going
Let me put
way,
this
way, way back
song.
in time now. Everyone's just like, whoa.
Huh. Well, now social media just brainwashes everybody. I mean, but we're able to. You realize when you come to these spaces, this projection of how they pretend everybody is fucking fake. They want you to think the whole world is a certain way and that everybody better get in line. And then you come in these spaces and everybody has the same thoughts and opinions of you. You're like, all right, this is bullshit. They're trying to project something that's not reality, and it works because a lot of people fall for it.
Well, ultimately, dude, they're just trying to divide. It's divide and conquer.
Absolutely. Yep. That's the that's a tried and true method that's worked for
That's how
centuries.
England ruled the world.
Yep. And
Infiltrate
while you're at it,
within. Yeah.
yep.
As far as I'm
Fund
concerned, the
both
central
sides.
bank can rule these fucking nuts.
Yeah, central banks and government contractors, they rule the world, man. They fund each side of all these wars, and they fucking we have to have everlasting wars for them to keep
I
in
mean,
power.
it's the golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules, right?
I'm just trying to
Right.
lock in my ticket to Hexaco, man. Give
Yeah,
give
no
us a
shit.
couple years. I mean, we got some really 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 bright people in space, man. Like
Yeah.
Axis, Water, even Water's above. He's not technically in the space, but like he's being in the space, man. Like he's been introduced to the point where he's like a household name now. Like all these guys, just it goes so further beyond crypto. Like it's almost like a mindset at this point.
Yeah. I mean, shit. Look at Alex. Look. I mean, dude,
Wait till we go
we
with
got some
actually
very
explore,
brilliant.
man. Wait until we still haven't even started, bro. It's Kobe game
Yeah,
two. It's
that's the
Yeah.
thing.
Kobe game two. Like, what are we happy about? Like, mainnet launches. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
But I
Honestly,
think
man,
what's more,
if there's any time to be happy, it's now though. Because I know you're saying we're not starting, but that's the best part about it. We haven't even started yet. We're at the beginning. We're not these people that are gonna buy tops, man. Like we know what we're talking about.
I
I
think the
think
most important thing though is what you said. Though is the concept of money, and we know what real money is, and that's what we do. That we do build up in, and knowing that the information that we need to actually use our money is very important in this community, and that's why we're so strong. That's why we're still here, man. You know.
a few years from now, we all need to invest in seasteading and make Hexaco a real fucking thing. Get away from all these governments.
Yeah, we can. We can do that. Like, let's say, next, what, 5 years? Fuck. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, look at like I said, look at the alliances that are forming now, man. It's a whole new dawn now. I mean, I don't think this has not ever happened where, you know, you can actually take your currency and buy whatever you want with someone else's currency. That's decentralization right there. That's part of a decentralization effect. Instead of actually using one centralized effect, which was the dollar, and now they're transacting within their own currencies. So that
Actually,
right there, yeah, yeah, yeah. So we'll see how that goes, like in a year, because right now it's such a rapid effect. Now even Japan, like fuck it, you know what? We're just going to use our money to buy what we want. Yeah,
Well,
like
because
Japan, dude.
they
yeah.
ultimately saw during the COVID-19 pandemic
Yeah.
that we fucked ourselves over with how much money we printed. Like
Yeah.
it they saw it from the outside, and from the inside, it's almost like all of these distractions, all this like these bullshit like riots and the race stuff and the different parties and stuff is to really distract from the fact that the government fucked up big time, man. Like big time. And the world powers are acting on that. That's why the BRICS system, or that's why the BRICS alliance is coming into place, because they're
Yeah.
like the United States is the number one, and they're saying that they made a absolutely god awful move, and they're capitalizing on that.
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
coming
the
for the champ.
quantitative easing. I mean, the
Yeah.
quantitative easing actually just ruined every damn thing, dude. And then not only that, they want everyone else to pay the piper through the fucking bonds, by raising interest rates.
But they'll
Motherfuckers
start
lost
over with the
their ass.
CBDC, and it'll all
Yeah.
be okay, and everybody will lock arms and sing fucking kumbaya.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck
fuck
that.
that. They like,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Yeah. That's I always keep saying in these spaces. That's why I'm glad I live in Florida. I mean, we're passing legislation. Go ahead, pass CBDC. We're not gonna fucking acknowledge that shit exists down here, and hopefully other states do the same. And the other thing
And
about
that's,
world
yeah, go ahead.
currency, I was just gonna say real quick, the U.S. dollar losing its power as a reserve currency is a good thing. I hate to say this as an American, but my country has been doing some fucked up shit the last 30 years, probably. Well, I mean, way longer than that. But we can no longer sanction nations the way we used to, and that's a bullying tactic. Sanctions are an act of war, and now we're threatening African nations if they do business with Russia. It's none of our business who the fuck they want to do business with, but we have that control over them because of sanctions. And now they're like, all right, we're just going to start using their currency then. It's backfiring. And that's what you're seeing now. And it's not just countries in Africa, it's all over the globe. The US dollar is going to lose its place in the next 5 to 10 years. And everybody thinks it's a bad thing for Americans, like everything's going to collapse. That's not true. It's not absolutely not true. We're just not going to be on the global stage like we are right now. We're not going to be able to dictate policy for other countries anymore. That's the big part, that we won't have that control, that leverage anymore.
The thing is, we also gotta understand the fact is that the dollar as we do know it as is not the real dollar because the Treasury doesn't print it, and this the Federal Reserve note. So
Exactly.
it could be to a point where I hope it does happen, that the government actually takes back the function of, control of the money, of
Oh,
the
they never will.
circulatory supply. Because like right now, yeah, the banks, the central, basically the Federal Reserve is the end all, the be all. That's the way they were made. So they could do whatever policy that they want to implement in order to control wherever economic factors that go with or against, the standard of the dollar that they determine as the note. But if the Treasury actually say, for instance, like, hey, you know what, we still print coins. They can't take that power away because the Constitution gives them that power. They can actually say, like, hey, you know what, fuck all this paper shit. We could, digitize the dollar based off the coinage. They can do that through the Treasury Department without the Fed, but who knows what might happen with that, But
You you know, there's not a there was no longer any countries on the planet where their central banks aren't controlled. I mean, aren't a separate entity from the government. I mean, the last country where the central bank was actually a function of the government was Libya, and we all saw what they fucking went through. They paid the heavy price for trying to make a gold dinar to trade oil, and they controlled their money supply, which they don't anymore. Now there's slave trade and all kinds of bullshit going on there. But there were a few countries left that actually had control over their money supply. Now every country on the planet, it's controlled. Even Syria. Syria once had their own control of their own money supply. They got a central bank. Iran has a central bank. Everybody has a central fucking bank. And these central banks they're just cartels. They all communicate with each other. That's why the globe is so quick to act together on things like the lockdowns that we all experience. I mean, a lot of this shit's connected. And central banks. People have this misconception where they think that it's a government entity, like the Federal Reserve. They even purposely named it like it's a government entity, a government agency, and it's not. Well, they do that in other countries too. The names are very similar. They do that on purpose. They want their people to think that it's basically an arm of the government. It's not. So that's why
yeah,
we're in this funny position.
just like the European Commission,
Yep. Yep. European
it's a
Commission. Yeah.
fucking
All these
it's a
names.
fucking corporation. That's basically what it is. That's what
Exactly.
commission is. It's a corporation,
Yep.
group of fucking corps. But yeah, yeah, man, they know how to play with the English and make it legal. Just like, hey, they changed the definition of a recession when there was one last year. I
Yeah.
mean, there was actual
Absolutely.
fucking recession, and they changed the fucking definition 2 days later.
They're doing that a lot lately. They changed the definition of vaccine. They changed the definition of everything. It's like
Yeah,
it's like the movie 1984, man. Like 2 + 2 = 5. And if you don't believe me, I'm gonna make you believe me, or you're not gonna be a free
yeah.
person. You know what I mean? Like
No, we're gonna have
that's
to
where
send
we're
you
at.
to a camp so you can
Yeah.
believe it's 5. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes,
I
interesting
can't believe
times.
we're here. I know, I can't believe we're at this point. Like 10 years ago, I would have laughed at someone and said, "Yeah, we're going to be living in a freaking." I mean, we're not that far along in the U.S. It's getting that way in some cities over here, but Europe, man, some parts of Europe, like UK,
Shit.
I got family over there. It's fucking lost cause, man. It's insane what's going
And
on.
I
Netherlands,
mean, the thing is, the strongest part about the United States is because the states can actually enact their own laws according to the federal constitution. As long as they don't go over that, then they could say like, yeah, we're not accepting that currency, or you know what, we're not accepting that part of that law. We'll enact our own law in tangent with it. That's the
yep,
most wonderful thing. Like Illinois is blue shit. Straight up. But the
yeah,
thing is, even the counties within Illinois, they're like, man, you know what? We're not doing what Cook County does. Even though Cook County is like what 2/3 of the damn population of Illinois, they're like, you know what? Fuck you. We ain't doing that down here in Springfield.
yeah, yeah, no shit.
So
Yeah,
so I
that's
mean, the thing is, I thank God for that because remember with Joey trying to enact that mandate with OSHA. The states' rights actually broke that down. They're like, no, you can't tell the states what to do on the federal level, especially
Yep.
employee-wise. So, yeah, he got shot down. Thank God.
Yeah, New Orleans circuit judge shut that down. They try to revisit it, and it's gone. It's not coming back. They just
Yeah,
quietly pretended that it never existed.
yeah. Same thing with crypto. I mean, when SEC, I think it was that month or two ago. Where they want to regulate it. Then the government was that the judge actually just laughed them off. It was like, no, this is an erroneous claim that you're making. Like, where's the proof? And they couldn't sustain no proof. So the judge was like, no, you can't do this. I'm dropping
Yeah.
this right now. And guess what? No news and no nothing. That's what pisses me off is these damn demons out here on this alphabet soup shit out here, feeding in these damn people's souls that nothing's going on.
Oh yeah.
I
Absolutely.
mean, it's just appalling to me, man. That these people are getting away with it. I mean, just think about it. They actually legalized lying, through that propaganda act, with the NDAA.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
They
I mean,
actually.
they can lie their ass off.
Yeah. They basically made it totally legal for the CIA to provide news sources to
Yeah.
mainstream media.
Just like they did with Twitter, like infiltrating Twitter, FBI, like, oh yeah, we'll give you $1 million if you tell them, if you block accounts and, do as I say, don't say what I do. I'm like, well, what the fuck, really? That is 1984 for real.
Yep. Absolutely. It's crazy to see countries like Germany where, have you ever gotten a message from Twitter because you said something that offended some German? I have. I think it's hilarious. I'm like, all right, go
Really?
fuck off. Oh yeah,
It was
like
in German?
yeah. Well, because by German law, they can ban accounts on Twitter within their borders, but they make Twitter basically research every claim and Twitter notifies you. Sometimes people post screenshots of it. I think I did a long time ago, but it basically said, under German law, you might have violated their speech laws. Like, okay, well, I'm
What?
fucking living in the U.S., so go fuck off. Like, why are you telling me this? I don't give a shit. I don't know if they do it as much since Elon took over, but I know some people still get the little messages. I don't think they can ban or freeze your account if you reside anywhere else other than Germany, but it's just weird shit that they do in Germany. I mean, that country never learns its lesson. I mean, they're the reason we've had 2 world wars, and they could very possibly be the reason we have a third one with the way they fucking
Hey,
act.
man. Well, I mean, right now, Deutschland they don't have the gall anymore, because I mean, for a
Yeah,
fact, look at what happened with the Nord Stream 1 and 2.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. That was us.
you
It was
actually
the U.S.
eliminated your country's energy source, the prime energy source, and they didn't say shit. They
Yep.
didn't say a damn thing, dude. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Our eco-terrorist president signed that one off. And that one's not making the news. Like all the evidence, countries are doing their own research, their own investigation. They're like, yeah, it's really looking like the U.S. greenlit this shit,
Oh,
and
ain't no
that does
looking.
not make news. Oh, it is.
Dude,
Yeah, it's absolutely.
they even have the fucking what's that, the submarine going back to get the explosive fucking device.
Yeah.
It was a U.S. fucking device.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
actually had it, dude. I mean, like, dude, like, why would you go back to the same area that we didn't know about, but you knew exactly where to pick up this unexploded fucking device and put it on the damn ship? Like, really? Like, dude, oh boy, I tell you. I
Can you
mean, the thing
imagine
is
if
about
another
the
country did
demons,
that?
dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, could you imagine if another country did that? We would be at war with them right now. Look at this eco-terrorism this country committed. We're gonna sanction the fuck out of them, if not invade them.
Oh shit,
Like,
they're trying to do
yeah,
it with Mexico. I mean, Mexico is like, hey, I'm looking into the BRICS, and then here go Lindsey Graham talking about, oh, well, you know what? Y'all have such a bad cartel problem down there now. We're going to have to use our army down there.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the fuck?
that's called politics of convenience. That's been an issue for so long, but then it's a card they hold in the back pocket. Like, oh, we can use this
Always.
card now. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We could pull the cartel card that we've. The DEA, they actively involved with the cartels. That's the funny part. Like, I'm retired from the Coast Guard. I can fucking say that factually, that the DEA works with the cartels all the fucking time.
Yeah, they're
And
not an
it's
administration, they're agency, so
no,
they'll work for
no,
whoever the fuck they hired. So
yep,
drug enforcement agency. So I mean, they're agency that
yep,
enforces drugs, right?
oh yeah,
So yeah, you're right, man. Shit, like the layers are so fucking deep, dude. When you actually realize how deep the shit really is, I think the more you try to liberate your mind to a point where you don't want to be caught up into it, because the thing is, dude, you'll drive yourself crazy. Worry about every damn thing. You would. But
yeah,
at the same time, you have to realize that it is going on. You just can't fucking ignore it, because you got
yep,
to recognize it, when you see it. You got to
absolutely,
recognize the game. The game's not going to go away. You got to recognize that, yeah, this is a fucking game. Like, man, I seen this game before. Wait, this move, that move. Oh, fuck, man. They trying to do this now. So now you're a step ahead of them. Just like with crypto. They know
yeah,
they can't confiscate this shit, man. They know that they can't. Unless you give it to them. So yeah, they come up with these erroneous as whatever the fuck they try to do, against DeFi. Like, yo, DeFi is a national security risk because we're worried that North Korea is going to use it. Like, well, what? You worry about them using fucking DeFi? I mean, fucking Kim Jong Un don't even give a fuck, but you care for him so much that the citizens of North Korea using DeFi and taking advantage of wherever, right? Like, shit, guess what? He didn't even need the fucking DeFi because he got nuclear weapons any damn way. So what's your point?
yeah. He can starve his people and still have a standing army that's pretty massive. What are they, like the seventh largest on the globe?
Yeah, fuck. They even contribute North Korean soldiers to Ukraine. They committed to with Russia. It's like, oh yeah, when you're ready, man, we got 100,000 waiting for you. I'm like, damn. Now that didn't make the news.
No, no. Yeah, someone said it earlier about Richard. Like, he's doing it right. He's like him and his dev team are, it's permissionless. He has separated himself from it to the point where they're just creating a product for us and we're in control, which is great because shit that you do see happening to people who just mysteriously die or freaking get stabbed to death. It's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, like I was saying earlier about
target.
the guy from Puerto Rico, and then what was that? The guy from Russia, the crypto guy from Russia, he
Yeah.
got killed,
Yep.
billionaire. Yeah, they're like one by one. It kind of reminds me of what was that? I would say like 8, 10 years ago when they started killing all the fucking naturopaths. People started curing them. What's that, autism and stuff. All of a sudden, yeah, he committed suicide with 2 shots to the head and fucking stabbed. Like, oh yeah, he committed suicide, right? Yeah, got people that are actually curing these fucking diseases. All of a sudden, they're dead. What's that?
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew actress name of Suzanne Summers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she had a naturopath that actually made, I think, life extensions, the company Life Extensions, because I forgot what she had. I think she had ALS or something, and he totally cured her. Then of course, he comes out with his line, Life Extensions, and which is, I mean, the stuff was phenomenal, for real. Then all of a sudden, I think like 2 years after he cured her, of course, I guess he was bicycling too hard and fell off his bike and broke his neck and
Yeah, there's
like
too many of
dude,
them.
there were like fucking 100 naturopaths died that year. That one fucking year, dude.
Yeah, I remember there was a going list of all these people that supposedly committed suicide or died in mysterious accidents. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
absolutely right. No one wants to.
financiers. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
just jump out the fucking window and stuff. Before the collapse, what was that? All of a sudden, it was like about 20 or 30 bankers just died, dude.
Oh
I mean,
yeah, I
like,
remember that too.
damn.
That started with the Deutsche Bank at first, and then all of a sudden it cascaded out of control. Because a lot of these banks are doing deals with cartel members and shit, and you know, we slap them a little fine, and then they just move on. But when their shady dealings are about to be exposed, or you know, I I, I think it all comes down to someone's about to become a whistleblower, and instead of being a whistleblower, they get blown off their balcony from the 30th floor. You know, they're like, all right, we can't let this guy talk. Yeah, that was happening left and right a few years back. You're right.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I remember all of that stuff, man. Shit, even scientists and microbiologists, and I mean, dude, it was just like a list of these guys just getting taken out. Young and educated guys. All of a sudden, they just died. I mean, like shockingly, like wow, man. Like how does 50 fucking pristine scientists all of a sudden fucking die? All of a sudden, like they invented this technology, like the ones that got on board that flight Malaysia, all of a sudden disappeared. Or a whole fucking plane gone. Like, oh, oops. Well,
Yeah,
crazy, dude. I mean,
yeah, that was shady as can be. Yeah, yeah. I mean, in this country, every time someone created some technology that reduced the consumption of gas, like making a hydro carburetor, or whatever technology they create where they can basically run a car like 500 miles on less than a gallon of gas, then all of a sudden the guy commits suicide every fucking time. It never fails. Anytime someone makes technology that's going to impact the oil trade, they just off themselves. Right before they're about to become billionaires, they just, you know what? I don't like life anymore. I'm just going to fucking shoot myself in the back of the head. Anybody coming down to South Florida for the Bitcoin conference?
God damn it, boy! I tell you, sometimes this fucking app just.
Yeah, I think I got stepped on there for a while too.
I'm like, wow. I guess we talk too much.
Oh, I damn sure do. I always tell people, fucking interrupt me, man. I'll talk forever. Especially if it's a quiet Twitter space.
Yeah, I mean, say what we want to say, basically. The time allotted. Who knows? Probably the algorithm found out we was humming something. And we just wasn't surprised.
Yeah. On the subject of an investigation in my town, right?
Yeah. All I gotta say is VPN. Vippin.
Oh shit! I'm meant to keep in touch or keep up with that bullshit law they're trying to pass. That they're hiding in the whole. If you use an app we don't like VPN,
Yeah, to
with
restrict
the
that.
VPN we're gonna put you to jail.
Yeah, some Russian
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. I remember Russia, they tried to pass a VPN law like that, but it failed. So
This one should fail too, but of course they piggyback off of TikTok. You know, they don't like TikTok because the company shares all our data with China and not them.
yeah.
You know, all the American companies share the data with them,
Well,
so they're
that's
cool. You know, Facebook,
there's like two
they're
versions
fine
of
with them.
TikTok though. There's two versions of TikTok, the one they give us and the one they have for them. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually, like if you download the